Hello and welcome back. I'm Rama Krishnan and you are watching Raise Your Vibe with Rama. I share teachings and insights that have helped me live a life from a higher vibration, and I hope that these teachings inspire you to do the same. Today I want to talk about receiving. Are you a good receiver? Many of us are very good givers. We give things, we help people, we work for others, we give them advice, sometimes unsolicited. But are we good at receiving? The truth of the matter is that all of the energies on the planet are made of two modes, just like we have positive and negative. We have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. We have inhale, exhale. In the same way, we have these two activities which are giving and receiving. And if our life has to run smoothly, we have to balance the two. We have to give and we have to receive. Some of us are really good at receiving, but we don't give enough. And some of us are really good at giving, we don't receive enough. Think about it. I had not really reflected on this deeply until maybe 10 years ago, for the first time when I came across a book. It is by Amanda Owen, and the name of the book is The Power of Receiving. And if you are curious, you should get that book and read it. It's so good. Anyway, so only it is when reading that book I began to see how important it is to receive. Because most of us have been taught to give, help others, be kind, be generous. Giving is more important than receiving. But what we don't realize is that giving and receiving are two sides, and they need to be in balance. And when they are not in balance, what happens is that when you give more than you receive, then sooner or later in your life, you're going to find that there is a spiritual burnout. You feel, I can't give anymore. You become resentful. You start thinking, why can't this person give me more? I mean, I'm always giving. They don't even say thank you. Well, maybe this is the relationship you've created and they have come to expect you to only give. It's not them alone, it's what we've been taught and what we've projected onto the world. And if you're just receiving and not giving, sooner or later, you're going to find that your life is very empty. And there is an entitlement and unfulfillment. So, one way or another, each of us needs to look into our lives and see how we can bring this into balance. Receiving is particularly hard for many of us who are on this journey. We have been exploring, we have been spiritual, we have been trying to help others, trying to be good people. And in the bargain, we have not learned to receive. It's also an art. Learning to receive is an art. And as Amanda Owen points out in her book, there is a difference between taking and receiving. Taking is when you're taking from somebody, you are thinking you're entitled. Receiving is more about allowing someone. If somebody wants to help you, you make room for it instead of saying, no, I got this. And the reason why we do it is because for so many of us, giving started off as something we chose to do, but then it gave us a lot of feedback, which was positive. People thank us, we feel special, and slowly giving becomes our identity, our ticket to validation, our ego's way of feeling special and important. And so we don't want to receive because it feels almost we are kind of going down a little bit. The ego feels a little deflated. But that's not the way we are supposed to look at it. Giving and receiving both need to come from the heart, not the ego. And all of these things make us realize, they make us wake up to, oh my goodness, I have been giving from the ego. I have been giving to get appreciation. I have not been giving from a generous heart. I have not been giving out of love. Not that there is no love, of course, there is love. But at some point in time, love takes a back seat and self importance takes the front seat. And then we feel like, why is this person not grateful? I remember I used to know a friend um, long ago who did a lot for her nephew because he had lost his parents, and she did so much for him. But she, at every point of time, she would make it such a point of, I gave you this, I gave you that. So over time, that nephew became so resentful, and my friend would often say, why isn't he grateful? I did so much for him. And many of us might relate to that story. And then we have to ask ourselves, where did I give from? Did I give from the heart? Because if you give from the heart, there is no expectation, there is no need for validation. It's just an act of love. And that giving expands our heart. And in the same way, when somebody gives to us, we begin to see that as an act of love. This is not keeping score. I gave you twice, you're going to give me twice. It's not keeping score. It's about receiving so that our bonds can get deeper. I am going to allow you to do this for me because A, I love you and I'm happy to receive. B, I know that giving brings you joy. Just as when I have given to another person and it has brought me joy, I start receiving in order that another person may get the same joy. So in a way, when we are receiving, also we are giving someone joy. And when we are giving somebody something, we are receiving the joy that comes from it. So in a way, as we go deeper into giving and receiving, we realize that they are both there in every act. When we give from the heart, we receive. And when we receive from the heart, we give. And really that helps this exchange to make us become closer to people. And in that closeness, there is great power and there is great magic. So think about this and start to think about how can I train in receiving, because I've trained in giving all my life. Let us start with a simple exercise. When you take a deep breath, instead of thinking, I'm taking a deep breath, I change the language and I think, moment to moment, the universe is giving me this breath. And I can sit back and receive. So even if it's the simple act of, let us receive 3 breaths. Let us receive 3 breaths with gratitude. Make room in our lungs to receive. Letting every inhale become an act of receiving. That's a simple way. Another way is by when somebody offers us their help, we open up our hearts and say, sure, definitely, if it's not a problem for you, I'd love for you to help me. Thank you. We learn to receive. That's a training because many of us did not grow up that way. So when we are receiving, we feel a sense of obligation. And we have to train in receiving from a sense of gratitude. And even when people are giving us advice, instead of saying, oh my God, I've heard this before, I don't need to hear this. Of course, if we don't want to hear it, that's fine. But if it is possible for us to say, this is probably a gift that I'm receiving right now, let me open up my heart and receive these words. You may or may not follow the advice, but you can receive it. In different ways, when you start to think about receiving, when you go on a walk and you see the flowers, paying attention to nature and say, I'm receiving the gifts of nature. Everything that brings me joy is a gift from nature. Whether it is a delicious meal or beautiful flowers our daily cup of coffee, anything that brings us joy, we can start experiencing them in a different way. We can start by saying to ourselves, I'm going to receive this delicious cup of coffee. I'm going to receive this delicious meal. And this way, when you start doing it, you will notice that simply changing that language into the language of receptivity changes your breath, changes the posture internally. You begin to relax some more. Because giving has us active and receiving has us sit back and become more passive. And this way, moving from active to passive, passive to active in an intentional way, in a conscious way, helps to build the bridge and open our heart. And once we start receiving, the universe says, oh, you are now ready to receive. And as we move further and further, we receive new friendships, we receive new opportunities, and we receive new insights that help us to grow. So think about that and start practicing receiving. Weave it into your daily life, weave it into your list of to-do things. Let giving and receiving both find a place in your list of values to be pursued in this lifetime, and see how this will enrich your life in ways you may not have received earlier. Thank you for joining me today, and continue to open up and receive a little bit every day.